This is Shivan today, and in this video we are going to discuss about the typography and the importance of typography in the graphic designing. So what is typography? Typography is everywhere we look. It's in the book we read, on the website we visit, even in everyday life, like on street signs, bumper stickers, and product packaging. But what exactly is typography? Simply put, typography in the style or appearance of text. It can also refer to the art of working with text, something you probably do all the time if you create documents or other projects for work, school, or yourself. Now, some common types of fonts. Typography can be an intimidating subject, but it doesn't have to be. You only need to know a little to make big difference in the stuff you do every day. So let's get started. First, some common types of font and what you need to know about them. So the first font is serif font. Serif font have little stroke called serif attached to the main part of the letter. Because of their classic look, they are good choice for more traditional projects. They are also common in print publication like magazines and newspapers. The second font is sans serif font. Sans serif font don't have that extra stroke, hence the name, which is French for without serif. This style is considered more clean and modern than serif fonts. Also, it tends to be easier to read on computer screen, including smartphones and tablets. Now the third one is display fonts. Display fonts come in many different styles like script, black letter, all caps, and just plain fancy. Because of their decorative nature, display fonts are best for small amount of text like titles and headings. Fonts have their own language. They all have something to say beyond the words on the page. They can come across as casual, neutral, exotic, or graphic. That's why it's important to think about a message, then choose a font that fits. Now I'm going to tell you fonts to avoid. So some fonts come with extra baggage, including Comic Sans, curves. Like, there's nothing particularly wrong with these fonts. They just have a certain reputation for being outdated or overused. If you find yourself tempted by them, think twice and consider using something else. There are many fonts with a similar look and feel that are less likely to distract from your message. Now further, I am talking about the combining fonts. When deciding which font to use, less is more. It's best to limit yourself to one or two per project. If you need more contrast, try repeating one of your font in different size, weight, or style. This trick is practically foolproof for creating interesting combinations that work. You have probably heard that opposite attracts. The same is true for fonts. Don't be afraid to combine font styles that are different but complementary, like sans serif with serif, short with tall, or decorative with simple. This can be challenging at first, but don't despair. Look at other design for inspiration, and soon you'll get the hang of it. Now, some other important terms. Maybe you have heard terms like kerning, leading, tracking, and hierarchy. For those with more experience, these concepts are essential for creating professional-looking design. As a beginner, you don't need to know everything about these terms, just enough to inform your work and help you talk about design with more confidence. So first, hierarchy. Hierarchy is used to guide the reader's eye to whatever is more important. In other words, it shows that where to begin and where to go next using different level of emphasis. Establishing hierarchy is simple. Just decide which element you want your reader to notice first, then make them stand out. High-level items are usually larger, bolder, or different in some way. Remember to keep it simple and stick to just a few complementary styles. Now the next term is leading. Leading is the space between line of text, also known as line spacing. If you're not sure how much line spacing to use, don't fret. The default is using fine. The goal is to make your text as comfortable to read as possible. Too much or too little spacing, as in the example below, can make things unpleasant for the reader. Now the third term is tracking. Tracking is the overall space between characters, sometimes called character spacing. Most programs let you condense or expand this depending on your needs. In some designs, you might adjust your tracking to create a certain artistic effect. It can also help you fix fonts that are poorly spaced to begin with. Now the last term is kerning. Kerning is the space between specific characters. Unlike tracking, it varies over the course of the word because each letter fits together differently. Some fonts have what we call bad kerning, making certain letters look improperly spaced. If a font you're using had bad kerning, it's best to cut your losses and choose something else. So this is all in our today's video, and I hope you like this video. Further, I'll describe